If you wish to make your own track, the TECHMANIA editor is here for you. Please note that many features require a mouse and keyboard, and therefore are inaccessible on mobile. After you click the editor button, you see the same select track screen as when playing the game. Unique to the editor is the New button. To create a new track, click the New button and enter the title and artist. Now you're taken to the track setup screen. Before making patterns, you need to set up a few things at the track level. In the Resources tab, click the Import button to import all the resources for this track. This includes the background music, key sounds, background images, and videos of all the patterns you intend to make. You can return to this tab at any time, but know that whenever you need some resource in a later step, you can only choose from the ones imported here. The supported formats are .jpg and .png for images, .wav and .ogg for audio, and .wmv and .mp4 for video. See this question mark? These are all over the editor, and you can mouse over them to reveal a tooltip regarding the nearby button or function. Next, go to the Metadata tab, where you can fill in metadata for the track. The title and artist is already filled, so go on and specify a genre and any additional credits you wish to add. In the Preview section, there's an iCatch and Preview track. iCatch is this square image functioning as an icon on various screens. Preview track is the audio file played when the player enters the select pattern screen. If you don't find the iCatch image or preview track in these dropdowns, make sure they are imported in the Resources tab. At any time in the editor, you can press Ctrl S to save, Ctrl Z to undo, and Ctrl Y to redo. Make sure to save often, there is no autosave at the moment. And now we finally move on to patterns. Click the New Pattern button to create a new pattern, and click a pattern to show its details on the right. Here we have the pattern name and author. Author is the person who designed the pattern, not the track's composer or artist. Next is the control scheme, level, and number of playable lengths. If you don't have a target level in mind, don't worry about it yet. You can finish a pattern first and then let the editor suggest the level. In the background section, you can specify the backing track, background image, and BGA, aka background video. Backing track is the background music played during the pattern. It's important to know about the game's timer. The backing track, if there is one, starts at the same time as the timer, i.e. at 0 seconds. And everything else's start time is relative to it. This applies to the BGA offset as well as the first beat offset, which you'll see later. For example, if you set BGA offset to -3 and first beat offset to 5, here's what will happen during gameplay. The BGA starts playing, then 3 seconds later the backing track starts playing, then 5 seconds later the first beat in the first scan begins. Before we open a pattern, notice these buttons at the bottom. Here you can delete or duplicate the selected pattern. This toggle determines whether the editor automatically orders patterns. If it does, the patterns are first ordered by control scheme, then by level. If it doesn't, you can manually order patterns with the up and down buttons here. Now we finally open a pattern, and my god, there's a lot of stuff here. The pattern editor consists of 4 sections: the toolbar, the workspace, the playback bar, and the side sheet. Let's start with the workspace and playback bar first. In the workspace header, you can see the scan number, beat number, and time of each beat. Click and drag in this area to move the scan line, which functions as a temporal cursor. Notice the thumb on the playback bar moves in sync with the scan line. You can click the play button or press the space key to play back the pattern starting from the scanline's position. Click it again or press space again to stop. Click the preview button to preview the pattern in practice mode, also starting from the scanline's position. Next, let's look at the toolbar. There are 4 tabs: timing, editing, tools, and options. In the timing tab, you can set the initial BPM, first beat offset, and BPS. First beat offset is basically the start time of the first beat. Recall again that all times here are relative to the backing track. BPS is short for beats per scan, and is roughly equivalent to beats per measure in other games. It's usually 4 or 8, but you can set it to be any positive integer. The time event button allows you to add or modify a time event at the skyline's position, which may include a BPM change or a time stop. Note that BPS cannot change throughout the pattern. Over here you can turn on a metronome during playback, which can help you tell if the beats are in sync with the backing track. The Editing tab is where the majority of pattern editing takes place. Click on these note type buttons to choose the note type, then click in the workspace to add a note of the specified type. Notice how a circle follows your cursor. This is where the new note will be snapped to. If you adjust the beat snap divisor, you can make the snapping more coarse or more precise. The visible lanes dropdown doesn't affect the pattern, only how many lanes you can see at a time. After you place the note, you can left click to select it, drag it, or right click to delete it. You can also click this button to use the rectangle tool, allowing you to select all notes in the rectangular area. You may see the word hidden behind all but the top few lanes. The top 2, 3, or 4 lanes are the playable lanes, depending on your choice at the previous screen, and all other lanes are hidden lanes. Notes in these lanes do not appear in gameplay and serve only to play additional key sounds if necessary. Remember these volumes in audio options? Notes in playable lanes fall under key sound, while notes in hidden lanes fall under music. The Tools tab contains 2 tools, Inspect and Radar. Inspect will have the editor check the pattern for some common issues. Radar opens up this dialog, which shows the same radar as the one seen in the Select Pattern screen, but additionally it also gives you a suggested level. The Options tab opens up editor options, which will be explained in a later video. Feel free to expand and read the help section though, there's a lot of useful stuff. This tab takes up the entire screen. To show the workspace again, go to any other tab. Finally, let's look at the side sheet. You can click this button to hide it or bring it back. The Note Details section will show a few options applicable to the notes you selected, if any. If the selected note is on beat 0 of a scan, the End of Scan option becomes available, which will have the game draw this note at the end of the previous scan, instead of the beginning of the next scan. If the selected note is a drag note, the beat spline option becomes available, which allows you to apply a different type of curve. In the Key Sound section, you can select one or multiple key sounds, and they will apply to the new notes you place. And that's the basics of the TECHMANIA editor. There's a lot more to dig into, but we'll do that in separate videos.